of Sports and Songs podcast. We're on season 5, episode number 22. Tonight's our sports edition. Today's April 1st, 2024. It's April Fool's Day. Andy, how are you?
Good. How about yourself?
Well, we did get the mail here at the studio and open it up, and it did say we were the number 1 podcast in America this last month. So we're doing something right.
Doing it. That's all we do.
Well, wait. No, that's an April Fool's joke.
That's our life. We are the number 1 fastest growing podcast in all of Western Carver County, though.
Yes, that part is true. You know, we've got sports. There's hockey, basketball to cover, UFL, Major League Baseball, AAA baseball. It's all coming to a head. So let's get started with. Well, let's start with the trivia question.
That's usually what we do. Yeah. Well, why break tradition?
So the Minnesota State Mavericks, or Mankato State University, if you will, won both the men's and the women's Division II national basketball titles in back-to-back weekends. Back-to-back, same weekend, right?
Back-to-back days, yeah.
Back-to-back days. Now, amazing as that is, it has been done before, not too often, but how many times has a school or university or college won both basketball titles of the same season? Very rare. We'll get to the answer at the end of the episode.
I did it in high school here this year for basketball.
Yes, and so we've seen that happen. You know, the hockey.
Edina for hockey.
Edina for hockey. Minnetonka for girls and boys basketball. So it has happened, and it can happen, but and this is at the college level. It's amazing. We'll get to the answer at the end, but congrats.
Maybe the Gophers will get the Big Ten in baseball and the girls will get the softball Big Ten title.
Yes,
you heard it here first.
That's what we could hope for.
All right. We're going to start out with good news here that Duke was eliminated over the weekend.
Breaking news.
That's like my favorite picture right there when it says Duke and eliminated.
Yes.
It's a beautiful thing.
So they're out.
Yes. Thanks be to God. All right. Texas Tech, or I'm sorry, not Texas Tech, North Carolina State. For school and NCAA tournament history with 14+ losses to reach the Final Four. So there, good for them.
Wow. And usually, you know, the standing yardstick is what, single-digit losses. Even if it's an upset, you're even the poorer teams have 8 or 9 or 10 losses that make it, but not 14.
If you got 2 losses, but you won your conference tournament, you get bounced that first weekend usually anyway.
Wow.
Well, because they had to win 5 in a row through the conference, and now they've won this many in a row to get the big. So they've almost won more in a row in the playoffs than they did all season.
Playoffs.
NC State has got both teams in the Final Four.
Boy, that is incredible.
So if you could wait a week for your answer, I might have to answer NC State.
Wow.
And if things go right in the second game, could be UConn.
Okay.
Now, before the NC State-Texas game the other day, they noticed the 3-point line was off.
I saw this. I saw your post.
You had one job.
I was going to ask you about this. Is this going to be a soapbox?
Oh my dear Jesus. Okay, here. This is the thing that bothers me with these college sports or these arenas. If they have it at Target Center, or if they have it at wherever arena or a dome or something like that, they got to bring in a floor special for it. And everybody wants their big NCAA Final Four logo on there and their special paint jobs. Do you not make floors all the time, people that do this? Did you hire it out to the lowest bidder? We're trying to save money on your billion-dollar industry. Just stick with the floor. We're gonna put it in a big dome stadium so we get 80,000 people in there when 79 of them can't see crap because the seats are so bad and something like that. Just play it in a regular NBA basketball arena. Just, the lines are fine. It ain't broke. Don't fix it.
Oh, it's beyond me.
The game. What do? Wait, repaint it and dry and do it. You can't wait and push everything back a day. So you have to deal with it. So how does this happen? How does this not get checked before it gets put in? You notice it during warm up. Someone goes, "Hey, that's off." Now, me personally, I can't draw a straight line with a ruler, so I'm not one to talk.
Yep.
But then again, my job's not making the arc on a college basketball court for the tournament either.
Well, aren't these for the most part not on there, but the measurements are on there for whatever
Yep.
sport they're playing? They're not measuring the distance. They're just highlighting the arc and unpainting the other arcs that are on there or something, aren't they? Or are they
No, these are
measuring
all
this?
specially made just for the tournaments. Because it's got
Oh,
NCAA
I
tournament
see.
in the center logo.
I see. So
They
they
do it
make
special for
they
everything
made
else.
the floor. It was bad when they sent it, and before they even set it up, it was already wrong, probably.
Yep. So whoever
Before
printed it,
that,
made it, didn't do a very good job proofing it.
that is, I mean, that's a talk about an embarrassment.
Yeah. You don't think they're right now, whoever made it for the Final Four isn't crapping a little bit going, check the floor now. Dig it out, set it up, check it now.
Oh my gosh.
How long does it take them to reproduce one to fix it? I don't know, but still.
It is
one job.
Oh my gosh. And one of the most important, I mean, things is that 3-point line. Oh my gosh.
Well, except for Caitlin Clark, she's so far back anyway, it don't matter to her. But
yes, that's true.
Okay, because of the transfer portal, here's the Elite Eight and their starting lineups and where they all originally went to college. See, all 5 Duke starters are all stayed at Duke. Purdue's got 4 out of 5. Tennessee, 4 out of 5. Clemson's got 3 out of 5. But you look at there, Alabama. Wait, that 5th guy. He's transferred in from NDSU, Dan. He's a Bison.
I did not know that.
Grant Nelson.
Oh, that's Grant. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yes. Devils Lake High School up in the North Dakota there.
Wow.
And check out the porn stash.
Yeah, I did see that at the game. I saw
he's rocking that stash. Yes.
He's a Bison. Now he's playing in the Final Four.
Now he's in the Final Four. So, horns up. I mean, sorry, Grant, you're going to get your ass kicked in the next round. But, it was a good run.
Wow.
All right.
This is soapbox, I think.
Yes, it is.
Yes. I figured.
Okay. I'm gonna try to be calm, cool, and collective, but it is a soapbox, so I might go off.
What really grinds your gears?
Angel Reese had issues at the beginning of what she said issues her whole life. Beginning of the year, she didn't play for a few games, and no one said why. And the rumors came out it was a pregnancy, it was grades, it was this or it was that. Here's what you could have done, sweetie. Whatever the issue was, you come out and say, hey, I screwed up. My grades were bad. I was academic eligible. Hey, I screwed up. I got pregnant. Hey, I screwed up X. I screwed up Y, whatever the reason is. And say, I messed up, but look, I turned my life around and here I am back playing basketball. You could have been the hero then. Instead of sitting there like this. You want to be the thug. You want to be the bad boy, bad girl image. Fine. No one's going to want you for sponsorships. No one's going to want you in your locker room. The sad thing is you're a great talent. But you want to think you should play on the Detroit Pistons bad boys team. The difference is they admitted they were bad and they were going to follow you and hurt you. You guys, LSU, you play dirty and you turn around like, what? Just because my elbow imprints on her cheek didn't mean I hit her that hard. Don't play the whole innocent BS. If you want to play the bad boy style, admit it. Don't play rough and go, what me?
I like the Raiders in NFL football were that type. The Detroit Pistons in basketball. Whether you like them or not, they walk the walk, talk the talk. And that's what's so misleading on the LSU squad for the most part.
Yeah, they do it. They turn around like, what? I didn't do that. Just stop. You want to be thugs, fine, but then admit to it. And then I even hate mentioning this woman's name. Former ESPN reporter Janelle Hill said today she was upset that Caitlin Clark was taking press away from all the black women in college basketball.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, I don't know. Is Caitlin doing anything stupid? No. Is she being a great role model? Yes. I don't care if you're white, black, blue, green, or orange. If you're a great role model for your kid, I know my kid go watch you.
Yeah, it's
It's
it
so
has
just
nothing to do
it's
with nothing
Juju
with the race. It's unbelievable to watch this woman.
Juju with UCLA, great influence. I'm very happy for her right now. I'm going to keep my eye on her now. Paige Beckers is another good one to watch. There's a lot of great players out there, but Angel Reese, you want to be the thug, then admit it. Don't sit there and go, oh, but look at me. I'm this and that. I told some people this backstage, and say what you will. I'm going to make a prediction here. Angel Reese is always, look at all the NIL money I can make. Look at all the advertising money I can make. If not, or probably not because she's in college, so that NCAA probably won't say anything. If that woman don't have an OnlyFans page 2 weeks after graduation, I'll be surprised.
Yes, there you go. Now that's a prediction.
Because she's all about the money and the look at me and everything else. I would not be surprised. Now, first of all, OnlyFans are not nudie pictures. Let's just clear that right there. It could be your diary. It could be a video diary because that's what a lot of them are too, you know. So I'm not saying she's doing it, but she's going to do something like that where it's an all about me, look at me, pay, see my pictures.
Yep, and she would be very successful at that.
Yes, probably. So I'm not saying she's going to do the nudie pictures, but she's going to do something like that where it's here's my page, pay to see me. And just because you don't know what you're going to get, she's going to get a bank load that first month because of curiosity. And then not many people remember to cancel their subscription and she'll still get their money in. But that's just her mindset. And if that's your mindset, great. Just admit it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm fired up now.
Yeah, it's fair enough. Like you said, now she's a tremendous basketball player, offensively, defensively, on the court, the block shots.
She's got a great mind for the game too. Don't get me wrong, but just
very good IQ, and she's going to. It sounds like now determine what she wants to do and make an announcement if she's going to come back for that last year of eligibility due to that COVID. Now there's one more year. She's a senior, but
she could come back
for the draft.
Yeah.
Now, so we'll see what she does, and Caitlin Clark is done. You know, Paige Becker will be back for one more year. Juju will be fun to watch next year and the year after.
Yeah,
you know, there's this Flage Johnson that's going to be fun to watch for a couple of years. The big picture is women's college basketball is the real deal, and that is what all this has stemmed from. It's the success of all of this, and it's very good.
And now there's the Big Three, which is something Ice Cube runs. It's this basketball Big Three. Looks like playground ball. The crowd's all right anyway. Caitlin Clark can make $76K playing the WNBA. Ice Cube offered her $5 million to play the Big Three.
Okay.
Now, again, kind of going off a little tangent here. Not quite soapbox-esque, but kind of. I'm really surprised he offered Caitlin this money and not Angel Reese because of the demographic the Big Three goes after.
Mm-hmm.
The hip-hop rap stuff, that which is not Caitlin Clark. White people could be in hip-hop, so it's not a white-black thing, but just the whole hip-hop, that's not her. And I don't know whose man's body that picture is they put Caitlin's face on because the thighs on that. Jesus. So very bad Photoshop on whoever did that picture there for them. But Caitlin's not the type who's going to take the $5 million just to do that either.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if she said, fine, I'll do it for a couple weekends. You give the money to charity X. Then maybe she'll do it.
Yep.
But she wants to be an inspiration for young kids, young girls. She's going to go WNBA and play there. She's not going to play in the hip-hop backyard Big Three. There.
And like you said, nothing against the Big Three. Angel Reese do really well.
I could see her doing that for $3, $4, $5 million playing in that instead.
Gosh, yes.
So you know, and I don't know now since that's not a league. That's still like an NIL deal. Could Angel Reese do that and still go back for another year of college?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know.
We'll find out because you never know. All right, one little injury report out of a basketball tournament here. And I quoted this on our Facebook page. I put up with the word dumbass. You don't wear a nose ring and play basketball, idiot. Oh, my nose ring got ripped out.
Oh, I did not see this.
I'm sorry. I do not feel bad for you.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and so the point is this: the players before the game or before the season, are they're still
Yep.
recommended to take out various piercings and
Yep.
necklaces and things like that. And you can decline it and say, "Look, I don't want to do that." We see this in football
Yep.
with the big chains and everything
Earrings and
going
stuff.
on. The long hair out the back, and then you get mad because someone
Yep.
tackles you with the big pony. The risk going in, and
Yep.
so that's why I think that this is to some extent funny because they know the
Yep.
risk and they're told not to do it. Would it hurt? Yes, I'm sure all these injuries
Oh,
would
yeah.
hurt, but they're told beforehand not to do it, and they make the option to say, you know what, I'm going to respectfully decline, but I'll wear my nose ring on the court. And so this happens, and then it draws all sorts of criticism and laughter.
It's like you go take the garbage out barefoot, then you complain you got stepped on hard rocks. That's your fault. You could have put shoes on, idiot.
It's too much.
And it was too easy to come up with stuff this week. Holy crap.
Well, I think too that this, and we haven't talked, I'm assuming, to the parents there, but I'm sure they were saying, you know what, I agree. Why would she wear that? We've told her for years, take that nose piercing out when you play the ball game. But no, she's got to keep it in. That's probably the answer, is what we're going to hear if we talk to the parents. They're going to do it. Do it either way.
All right. Here we
Now
go.
we sound like two grumpy old men.
Yeah, two old white guys just bitching. All right. Gophers advanced with a 4-point win over NDSU in the women's NIT. Now they go to play Wyoming.
Yes, the Cowboys.
Yes, Cowgirls. It's the girls. It's the Cowgirls.
Oh, yes.
That's today probably going on. I don't know the final from that because I was watching Iowa game. So
Neither do I. I didn't watch it, but this is fun. This Gopher program. The interesting thing is, Andy, what I wanted to point out was that because they had a couple of major injuries, they didn't do that well this year. Now that the Big Ten season and the tournament is done, they didn't get selected for the NCAA. They got invited to the NIT, and then the two players that were injured now are back at 100% full strength. And this could be something fun. Another side of the NIT that we don't see. It's always been kind of an also ran tournament that no one really cares about it, but you can do some damage there with a good, healthy team.
oh yeah, I mean, and this is only good for recruiting too right now too. So it's
Mara Braun is back.
yeah.
They got Hire from Chaska. They got Sonano, Watertown. I mean, it's a fun group to watch, but it's single elimination. They lose, they're done. They win, they advance on.
Yes, it's we'll see how they turn out. See if we get I got Oswald trying to find the score here for me.
Okay.
All right, the final four for the men are set. UConn, Alabama on one side, NC State, Purdue on the other. So we'll see what happens from there. Women's side, South Carolina, NC State. We now know it's Iowa against the winner of the UConn South Carolina game.
Southern Cal. So that's the
Cal,
team with the Juju Watkins that you've been talking about all season.
And the
finally started paying attention to it. Yeah, she's good.
Okay, I got some baseball news.
Okay.
3 games in. The Mets are 0-3. Send your jokes and kicks in, yes. Like I said before, I did my preseason predictions for the Mets. Then I updated after the first 3 games. This team wins 60 games. I'll be amazed. But the bar cards are out for the Crow River League. Picked mine up the other day.
I saw that. Okay, yes. Great post. I saw the bar cards. This is Crow River Valley. Other leagues have them.
Yes.
This is the Crow River Valley one.
Yes. They have stretched out to other places they do. They did have some places in Shakopee on here, which is not in the Crow River League. This is just an observation. It's not a complaint or a plus.
Interesting.
Before, it was usually 4 stops at each place. Now you only get 3. But they do have more options of places to go to on there. So
more options, but it's 3. It's buy one get one free. You can use it 3 punches or 3 times at each establishment during the course of the season. Yes.
Yeah. So there you go. ESPN likely leaning toward opting out of the NBA contract or MLB contract. Why?
Okay.
NBA or NFL. ESPN, I guarantee in 5 years, if it's not basketball or football, they're not going to cover it.
Okay.
That's just
It's just an ESPN thing. They've always been kind of that, kind of like MTV after they got too popular at first.
Yep. And then I thought they could control everything, and okay, fine, whatever. So, but with baseball kind of going more to MLB Network, more streaming stuff, I think ESPN doesn't want to fight it. They're going to dump their money into football and basketball.
Interesting.
Here's opening day prices. The most expensive, Texas Rangers, $285 to watch the Cubs at
the road, right?
Yeah, get 5 wins. Get your championship banners now. PittsburghPirates.com.
That is unreal.
All right, I got some Mets news, whatever.
Yes.
Here's what Carlos Mendoza said after the 3 losses. After being swept by Milwaukee in Open 2024, the Mets are still looking for the first win. He goes, "We're better than that." No crap. What are you supposed to say? Yeah, they beat us like we had it coming. Of course you're going to say you're better than that. Dude, work on your quotes for after a game. Anyway. Mets are 0-3.
That's what really grinds my gears.
Yeah. They were 1 hit on opening day at home. Good thing it was a solo home run by Starling Marte. They lost all 3 to Milwaukee. It's just I'm not a happy man. I've been taking a lot of Tums lately for it.
Yes.
I think I messed up. I said to play Pittsburgh. It's Cincinnati they play after this coming up too. So they're not
okay.
But after this, these 3 in Detroit, that's 3-0. Again, what's up with that?
Yes.
So, I just don't know. I just don't know anymore, Dan.
It's so strange. The first weekend of any sport is so bizarre.
But that's what I got. Twins looked good except for that 3rd game against Kansas City. But then again, that's what happens sometimes too. You just you hit those buzzsaws of certain teams, and
yeah,
it is what it is.
And so the Royals, are it should be fairly good this year, and fairly good meaning, they should be at the 75, 80 wins mark, and they've got a pretty good lineup.
The Royals this year, they're going to be a fun team to watch. And the Mets lost 5-0 in 10. Jesus Christ!
It is a tough deal because what you've got is, the Twins winning 2 games, and really, I wouldn't say really winning, but Royals didn't do much of anything in the first 2 games, and so
they saved it all for the 3rd.
Piled on the 3rd game, so it really wasn't a blowout as much as it looks. But now everyone's got their wins and losses out of the way, except Detroit looking for their first loss. Now the Twins go to Milwaukee for a 2-game set, and the Twins are 2-1. Milwaukee's what, 3-0?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they must be 3-0. And so that will be good. And then they come home to play at home. Now, we talked about the women's NIT. The men's NIT basketball semifinals are tomorrow. Thursday is the finals, and then that will be wrapped up. The WNIT gets to the Final Four. UFL started this weekend, Andy. 4 games, 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday, and that was interesting to watch those games once again. They're kind of fun games, something to have on in the background. Major League Baseball started this week. The AAA teams also started with a shorter weekend series, all the AAA teams. Now,
like a little 2-3 game,
So they got a little under the belt there, some games under the belt. Now, the AA of all the leagues now will start this Friday. Those games will kick off as they trim the rosters down and get those lineups set, and the rosters set for the AA and the rest of the minor leagues. They will all kick off. D1 hockey, they're down to the Final Four in men's. Boston College, Boston University, Michigan, and Denver.
In St. Paul.
Gophers had a lead there in the game against Boston University, lost that one, but that will be in St. Paul. So if you're looking for something to do, that's not till the following week, though, right?
Yeah, week off. Yep.
So they have a week off. Women's hockey's done. Men's have a week off, and then they play Major League Baseball now is in full swing. Division II basketball, we talked about that. The Mavericks winning both of those, men's and women's in D2. Very rare to see that. And
after 3, 40-40 Gophers and Cowgirls.
Okay.
So.
And so, baseball, there's the injuries. There's the first weekend is kind of out of the way. We're dealing with certain players are making their debuts, the studs, coming up, the prospects. And then if you want to get a chance to see the Saints, they've got a lot of former big league ball players down there that the Saints have picked up, and a lot of good prospects coming up. They should be good this year. They won their first 2 games. They're 2-0. The first game got rained out due to wet weather, wet grounds, they said.
Yes.
And so we've got a lot of basketball. And the other thing we didn't mention was the NBA. The Wolves have been winning. They lost the other day. They're up there in the 50s for wins, which is very rare.
It's a rare error for them.
They're tied for second all time. The franchise has been around for 35 years. They won, I think, 58 games. Is their best year ever, and now they're tied for second for most wins ever in the low 50s. There's only 7-8 games left. They'll be done. They could be a 1 seed. They could be a 3 seed in the postseason. Who knows where they're going to end up? And it's all very tight. So that's going to be fun to watch.
I'm going to get a little sports and songs and business news here for you. Alex Rodriguez and his partners are still minority owner in the Timberwolves. They've been trying to get into majority owner. That everybody depends on who you read, whose fault it is. It's all paperwork deals for money anyway. Yeah. But geez, Glenn Taylor, he's not an idiot. When he started making this deal, he didn't worry about it. Just like, funny, wait, my team's won in the division. That means it could be worth more. So I'm going to reject your offer right now and see what I can get. Glenn Taylor's not an idiot. If he's spinning it and they're going to point fingers at he said, she said on it, you know what? Who cares? A, I don't. B, Glenn Taylor, he didn't sign anything. He let it milk out. Glenn's a smart businessman. If A-Rod claims to be a smart businessman, he would have had, well, I could pay this money through this investment, that investment, and that investment. A-Rod, we know you got it. Open the checkbook and just write it out. Glenn Taylor, X number of millions, sign it out. You guys give them the check. You're done. Don't give them stocks in this, bonds in that, property here, this, a date with Jill somewhere. No, just cut them the bloody check and done.
So it came to this whole conclusion, and I haven't been really following this that much, but once you dove into it and understood what's going on behind the scenes, it's a very interesting dilemma. But you're right. Alex Rodriguez may be wealthy. He's not a businessman, a business manager. Glenn Taylor is, and he's wealthy. He probably has the upper hand, but it's turning into a he said, she said, he said back and forth, and they don't know what the heck's going on, which I can't even fathom at something of this large that something slipped through the cracks that they didn't know about. So there's got to be something more going on behind the scenes. Now, Andy, to your point, for the listeners out there that don't know this, the Wolves, when the season started, was a $1.5 billion franchise. Them and the Lynx, roughly $1.5 billion, just ballpark. Now, some are saying they're estimated to be $3 billion. They've doubled.
And
well, that's the point. If this gets drawn out or puts it up for sale again, who's going to benefit? It's only Glenn.
And you look how popular women's basketball is getting in college. So the WNBA is going to go popular this next year. So now the Lynx value is going up. Glenn Taylor's a genius for going, maybe this isn't the right deal since we didn't sign anything really officially, Alex.
Oh, it's just, it's going to be a bloody. Now, the problem is that it's impacted their friendship, or whether it was real or legit or not. Everyone's at odds now, and it's all frayed and strained. But boy, what a mess. But you're right. As of today, they're still, I think, 36% owner.
Yeah, they still have some ownership. And one name that's going to come back to try to get majority ownership. You're writing this down? Got pencil, paper, write this down. I don't know if you're kind of familiar with the name around here. You had a little time here. Guy named Kevin Garnett.
See, he's also in the mix.
Now, here's going to be the weird thing.
The jersey?
If he buys it, does he retire his own jersey? Is that cocky to do that then? Let's retire the boss's jersey.
So Andy, for the listeners out there that don't know, there was this rift between the Wolves not retiring his jersey.
Yep. Boston
and then got into it with Glenn Taylor. Now it's like, well, you don't want to go back and just retire it now because it seems like an afterthought, because the Celtics already retired it, right?
Yep.
And so there's some extent that Kevin Garnett is in the business of possibly buying the Timberwolves. Then you can solve both problems. I'll buy the team, run it myself, and retire my jersey. But it's going to look bad, so you're stuck there too. But
then sell it for a dime on the dollar to the next investor.
It's just there's a lot of things going on here. Not good, not bad, just strange goings-ons here in the winter sport. But now we're into April. Most of this winter stuff should be behind us. But we have a answer to the trivia question.
Yes, and I have some stats for you on that answer too. So.
Okay. Minnesota State Mavericks won the women's Division II national basketball title. And I think there's 9 women on the roster there from Minnesota.
Yep.
And the men,
I believe, isn't it?
One Waconia, and there's a New Prague, and there is
all the area around here. Yep.
There's local. And then there is the men's team that went on a heater, and then won the men's Division II national title. And I think there's 7 guys on the squad that won from Minnesota, 7 on that roster again. So local talent, and the Mavericks win that. And so it stirred on a lot of debate of how often has this happened. Has it happened before in D2? Has it happened in D3? Has it happened in D1? How many times has this thing ever happened? Even has it happened before? Well, it has happened before, but what have you got for answers, Andy?
It depends on how you want to look at it. It's happened 3 times by 2 teams.
Okay.
Because it's kind of funny this year. The other team was I want to say it was like Nevada or something like that.
No, it was Central Missouri, I think.
Central Missouri. And when UConn did it, check your calendar and check your game tonight. UConn men, women did it in 2004, 2014. What's today's date? Oh, yeah. Just saying.
Well, the one additional thing is when Central Missouri won it, it was 1984.
Right.
All the decades end in 4 if you're going to pull off a stunt like this, except 94, nothing happened.
Yeah, that 94. It's kind of a boring time.
That's a very interesting stat that the only 1, 2, 3, 4 times it has ever happened, 2024, 2014, 2004, and 1984. So Central Missouri was a D2 school.
Yeah.
So second time that's ever happened. UConn did it twice, and they're a D1 school, but they did it twice in a 10-year period. So it's been done. It can be done, but typically it's so odd because usually programs are really good in basketball, men's or women's. Not typically both, but
rarely. Yeah.
Then again, we saw a men's basketball game, Andy, in the Elite 8 that was Alabama Clemson. I thought I was watching a football tournament.
Right. They use the same advertisement. Clemson, Alabama, today on CBS.
Very rarely do you see those two in basketball going this far, but it's strange. But hats off to the Mavericks, Minnesota State Mavericks. That's a trivia answer. The answer was it's the 4th time. 2 other schools have done it, UConn and Central Missouri.
Yes.
That's a tough thing to do, but hats off. Congrats to them. That's really going to wrap up the college season now. We got the basketball next, the boys and women's, and then the hockey.
Yep.
And then it's going to be full swing into baseball and the spring sports.
Now, not to sound like haters, next week's show, because the championship game is on Monday night and it starts late, we're not going to be able to cover it. So just follow our social medias for our thoughts, words, and concerns on that for men and women. Because we're working on a special episode for next week. So I'm not avoiding talking about the Mets who'll be 0-10 or 11 by then or whatever hell, I'm not going to be eating crow about the Twins doing well. Not crying or hiding from that. We're working on a special episode for next week. So,
yes, it should be fun. But happy April Fool's Day, everyone. That's all that I've got.
That's all, too.
All right, everyone. Have a good weekend. Have a good week. April Fool's